Sullivan off his right. Oh, Chicane. Oh, I do not believe that. Owen. Oh, this is getting better and better and better. It's Torres holding him tightly. In the Champions League final. The headline has been written.
Hello and welcome to the V2 Football Podcast. I'm Chris Lappin and joining me today I have Owen Meek.
Hello.
Nick Davey.
Hello, but I'm not stressed. I'm only going to be here for about 5-10 minutes.
Which we all rejoice upon.
I'm just going to put all my Davey Nation out there might get a bit upset and want to switch off, so don't switch off now.
Is that your fan base, the Davey Nation? The Davey Comics?
I didn't mean to say that.
That sounds like a tag team from the WWE in the 90s, that does.
I didn't mean to say it out loud.
That's just what goes on in your head.
Well, I think it might have been a big factor of why we got to the awards night.
Whoa.
And Richard Hero Hudson.
Good evening.
So, you're all good. So the biggest news of the week is that we have made it to the finals of the Football Blogging Awards. We're all very
all
excited.
those Davey Nation votes.
I know, yeah. Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone for nominating us. We're really excited about sending awards. It's beautiful.
Yes.
Believe it or not, it'll be the first time we ever meet each other, so...
And possibly the last.
So sorry, but...
There might not be a podcast when we get back.
So with Owen and Hero, we've been doing this for nearly 3 years, maybe.
Do you reckon this could change the complexion of the show?
We might not look at each other in the same way again afterwards.
No. But to be fair, it has been good, hasn't it? And when I first read it, I thought to myself, like, given the way we started 3-4 years ago and how far we've come now, done really bloody well, to be fair.
Yeah, it's the top 10 podcasts in the country. So
yeah,
the top 10 nominated. So so the slate has been clean. So if you've nominated us, you need to vote for us. No, you can't just nominate. All links will be in the descriptions below how you can vote for us. So other news, I did a very enjoyable interview with Manchester United Academy coach Tom Statham yesterday. He was a very interesting guy. We discussed his stance on the state of coaching at grassroots level, his role at United. So check that out.
Did he once call up my lad?
He says they do trials. They go from under 8s. So.
No, I've never seen them actually do a trial, but I'll try and get in touch then.
I've heard from a fair few people, if you just ring football clubs throughout, like in the build-up to the summer and the summer break, they do a lot of clubs now do open trial sessions.
Most when I've looked on the website have said that they're not running them. Well, I'll have a look.
To start, we'll quickly round up this Sepp Blatter and Platini being suspended. So Sepp Blatter and Jermaine, I don't know how to pronounce his surname, Valky?
Well, he's not the important one, is he?
And Michel Platini have all been suspended for 90 days.
I think the big one from that is Platini. Like, we all knew that Blatter was eventually going to get taken down by them. But Platini was sort of the new white hope type thing that was going to come in and sweep away this corruption. And he's as bent as Blatter.
He got paid for a job he did 9 years ago. Haven't you heard that?
Yeah. For me, every year, the longer he's been with UEFA, the more shady he actually looks. Like, even facially, like he looks a little bit more of a shady character now.
Yeah.
And for me, like Lineker was right on the money when he said they literally need to clear houses completely and rebuild again. Like, you cannot possibly continue with FIFA with anyone who's been involved with FIFA in the last 10 years at the head of it.
Well, they're both still going to go into the race to be president because they've both got their applications in time.
news first broke, I thought either they're clearing houses and FIFA are trying to maybe come out of this in some kind of positive light, or they're just taking the main people out of the limelight for a while and hoping it all blows over. Which, given FIFA's status and the way they go about it, wouldn't surprise me if it's the latter rather than the former.
I would be pushing for David Gill to going in on it. Because I think he was very much against Blatter. He resigned when Blatter got back in. So I'd be thinking that he might actually look to push through change.
I'd like to see something like they have in basketball, where you have someone within the FIFA council as the head, but then you also have maybe a past footballer and a current footballer who are all in top positions, because that way you bring some kind of parity to it all.
Something similar to what they tried with the FA, trying to get more British players to play. They got Ferdinand and then Danny Mills and stuff involved in the process.
The problem with the FA is they just do it for media purposes, don't they? And, nothing actually happens within what they do.
You could get Messi in, and who just seems to be as bad as the rest of them now.
Oh God, yeah.
Right, so,
the life of footballers and those involved. Incredible.
Right, well, I'm sure we'll leave that one there. I'm sure Shane will want to talk about it next week, so we don't get to.
Yeah, I think it'll rumble on, won't it? I think it's going to be a talking point for quite some time now.
Alright, so before we talk about the managerial situation at Liverpool, do you want to start? We'll do the first game of some of the pitch. So it's you two over 3 rounds. So
is Nick about it still?
No, he's gone.
Where's he gone now? So you could join him for one of them.
So we'll just do.
He did message before he left saying making a quiet exit, which is very unlike Nick.
Yeah. Alright, so I want you. Who's going to go first? I haven't done a question to go first.
Ladies first.
Right, Owen. So you got 5 chances each. Back to how we used to do some of the pitch. So name Spanish players who have played in the Premier League for either Arsenal or Spurs.
Gondola.
Yep. Richard.
Spurs Spanish footballers.
Doesn't have to be specific either. So.
Soldado.
Yep. Arteta, yep.
One that used to wind me up something. Well, used to wind my dad up something chronic.
Naeem. Yep.
Oh, you've gone for some old school ones there. I'll go for my simple one, Cesc Fabregas.
Yep.
I can't believe I didn't think of Fabregas. I'm trying to think of the Spurs ones.
I think there's only one more Spurs one.
Oh, is there? Still one's out there, because then there's. No more of the current team, is there?
Yes.
Is there? What's his name that went on? That looked really good.
Reyes, yep.
I'm not. Nick Ryan, I was going to have on next. Spanish. Oh, got one.
Almunia, yep.
What's his current then? Mentally go through this. Oh, what's his name? The little fast fella. Now, Bellerin.
Bellerin, yeah.
He's the fastest on FIFA, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah, he's got the best pace stat.
Let's make it a full house, Owen.
I think I'm done, so if you get it, you won.
We'll just carry on the score through the whole thing. So.
Oh no, I haven't. I've got one.
Oh no, have you actually?
There's probably one obvious one there left, I think. So.
I'm trying to think old school now. Oh, come on. I literally can't think of it. Arsenal. We had Cazorla, Bellerin, Reyes, and then Fabregas. I'm literally gonna have to have a guess, and I'll go for Monreal.
Monreal, yeah.
Oh, well, that was my last one.
I'm thinking Argentinian or Spanish.
I genuinely don't know anymore.
Okay.
Was there one more Spurs one?
Yeah. Falque. Falque?
No.
Medina. You could have had Arsenal, Medina, or Miquela.
I don't think I went for anyone before 1990 then.
Surprised there's not more, really.
Yeah, I know. Well, Arsenal, I can imagine there's been a fair few, but for Tottenham, not too many really stand out.
No.
Right, so after the first round, it's 5-4 to Owen. So unless you've been living under a rock for the last week, we'll know that Rodgers has left Liverpool, and today has been replaced by Klopp. But before we get into his appointments, do you think it was the right decision to sack Rodgers?
What I think happened, which Liverpool won't say is the case, but I think they basically got wind that Klopp would be keen.
Yeah.
And then just went for it. If a manager of Klopp's reputation becomes available, and you've got a manager of the level of Brendan Rodgers currently as your manager, you get rid of one and bring in the other.
Well, didn't you predict this week, Owen? You're on 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I said it would be. I think one would be mentioned before Christmas, and I said I could see it being within the next week.
Yeah.
So should have gone down the bookies on that one. But I don't think it's the right. I don't know. It's tough, isn't it? I mean, you could say it's the right decision in the sense of you look at what Klopp did. You know, taking Dortmund to the Champions League, and will he be available 6 months from now? Possibly not. But outside, you know, he had 2 years at Dortmund where he did well. And there were 2 years where Bayern Munich were rebuilding. And as soon as the rebuild had finished, they couldn't hang on to their coattails. It wasn't just when they lost their star players. But, you know, when they lost their star players, then they really struggled. And you look at the setup at Liverpool, and regardless of what people want to say about Liverpool, they are a selling club. In the essence of, if they have a world-class player there, they can't hold on to him.
So, Rodgers has had the heart ripped out of his squad every season since he's been there. So.
He has. And it's the saddest thing to come from it for me is that it doesn't send a great message out regards British coaches at a time when maybe we were just starting to see a little bit more positivity in terms of people hiring British coaches for the top jobs. You've had Moyes and Rodgers both lose their jobs in the last couple of years. And, alright, Moyes, you know, people will say, well, Moyes didn't deliver for United, but up until maybe 3 months ago, Van Gaal's record was actually no better than Moyes' was at Man United. And now you're looking at Rodgers, 6 points off top spot, mixed start to the season. Again, a lot of new faces he has to, you know, bed into the team. And you're thinking, what do you have to do to keep a job in the Premier League, really?
You look at that Liverpool squad though, and from what he took over, it has gone backward.
They kind of had the Spurs syndrome with Bale, where they tried to replace Suarez with like 8 different players.
Well, that was one of his sort of delusional things, is because when Spurs sold Bale, he went and said, like, if you spend £100 million, you should be challenging for the title. And then they sold Suarez, spent £100 million, and went backwards.
Yeah.
If you look at it, I mean, you're saying there that they've gone backwards. Defensively, they certainly look more frail. But if you look at the potential in that team, I mean, you've got
there's all that potential there, but potential isn't actually turning into. You know, they're buying that lad. There's a winger in straight away. You know, they've loaned him out this season. He had one of the biggest potentials in Europe. There's loads of clubs were keen on him. He did nothing for the season, and he's gone out on loan. That was 20 million down there.
People forget. I mean, it's easy to forget. One of the criticisms I heard saw on the forum was Rodgers maybe doesn't have the man management and motivational skills to get his players playing. Well, if you look at a form that he produced from Sterling, Suarez lit up the Premiership under Rodgers, and that's a man who's extremely difficult to manage. And for almost 15 months, he didn't put a foot wrong. That had never happened before. So I don't buy into the fact that he couldn't motivate players. You know, he's had Sterling. All right, he was forming patches, which is what you expect from a youngster. But no one had really heard of Sterling until Rodgers gave him the chance. Sturridge, he turned Sturridge around, turned him in, you know, from a greedy goal scorer into maybe not as greedy is probably what I'd say, because he could still be greedy, but he knew when to strike for goal, he knew when to pass the ball a little bit more. You know, there's players in that team who got better under Brendan Rodgers, and I look at players like Klein, Benteke, Coutinho, and I think Rodgers would have been the man to get the best out of them. And I'm not as convinced on Klopp as other people seem to be. I think fantastic he got Dortmund to the Champions League final, but the German league, in terms of depth all the way down, isn't as strong as the Premier League, and I'm not sure he'll do much better than what Rodgers has done, to be quite frank.
So where do you think Rodgers could go from here?
Well, there's rumours for England, which, oh my dear God.
You're not a fan of him at all, are you?
No. I could see him ending up at Newcastle.
Newcastle? There's a couple of rumours that popular. So Villarreal looking for it, possibly.
I think it's doing good to go overseas.
But maybe in the Spanish league at that like Villarreal level, I can't see him getting a top.
No, I don't
5.
Think top job. But the other thing is the big thing for me is people talk about foreign managers taking English jobs there. And alright, obviously, if there's not an English manager there that stands out, or British manager that stands out to give the job to, fair enough. But the wider picture is that Klopp's coming in now. Liverpool have announced that 4 key personnel have left. All British, all in coaching positions, all left. And there's a further 5 to go, apparently.
Yeah, Sean O'Driscoll left the club today, and Gary McAllister's been removed from the first team, so I don't know if that means he might be going down to the academy or
yeah,
possibly
I mean,
reserve
and
team.
that's a lot of, that's a lot of. We always lambast the lack of experience English coaches get, the lack of opportunities they have. How are they supposed to learn the role when even your coaching positions are being taken by foreign coaches?
What I'll say in Klopp's defence, I've been a big fan of Klopp over the years, is the Dortmund setup that he had, similar to what Rodgers done in the last few years, he's brought youth through. Klopp has been a big youth player over the years, and the setup that he had at Dortmund with the facilities there, some of the rooms that they had for the training, were the best in Europe for what they had. I think he's the perfect fit for Liverpool because he does play a similar style to what Liverpool have played over the last few years, of that high pressing attacking football, and which sort of Rodgers went a bit wrong with over the last 6 months. I think he ticks every single box for Liverpool, and I'm gutted he's gone there.
Right, so he's agreed a 3-year contract. So what do you think his targets would be this season? Would it be top 6, settle in? And then...
I would say so, because he's not going to obviously be able to bring in too many of his own the players he's wanting until next summer. It's not that many that he can get in the January transfer window. I know Owen will disagree with me on this, but I think he will be going everything out to get Royce come summer.
Yeah, if I was a Liverpool fan and Klopp came in and one of the first major moves he made was to bring in another attacking midfielder role, I'd immediately start to question him, purely because
he's not going to keep Coutinho though, is he? Next summer.
I'm not sure. Why wouldn't you keep Coutinho?
Because Coutinho will want to move on.
Well, if Klopp's such a big name, will he want to move on? I mean, that's the argument people are saying. Klopp's a big name. He can get big salaries.
City are apparently interested in him.
But then that nullifies anyone's argument that
isn't he best friends with Neymar and he wants to go to Barcelona? I was reading.
Yeah. However big Klopp is, still money talks. And if City come for a Liverpool player at the moment, City will get the Liverpool player.
Well, like I said, if he doesn't move on, if Coutinho's still there and he stays there, I think even if Coutinho goes, the first place you've got to start strengthening that Liverpool side is at the back. Simple as that.
Hummel's coming in. Hummels has been.
Well, that's the thing. How many players will come across? Because there's plenty of good defenders at Dortmund.
The one I could see coming across would actually be Subotic, who
I was going to say Subotic, and the right back as well. I rate, but you can also play that.
Neville's not been getting as many first games of late because he's been more Hummels than Socrates.
Yeah. But I don't know, it's a difficult one. For me, going back to where do I think he needs to be challenging, I think given he's coming into the job, I think he's got a good enough team there, and the inconsistency in the Premier League this season, he should be challenging for top 4. No doubt about it, not top 6, top 4.
I think top 4 is a big ask this season.
What, given where Chelsea are, given Tottenham aren't firing all cylinders? I mean, you look at the Premier League, you'd say only really Arsenal, even Man City look like they could trip up from time to time. I think there's enough inconsistency there that you'd be wanting a top 4 challenge. They're 6 points off. You'd
be wanting one, but I don't think you get it.
You don't think that's no? I don't think you will. But I think Liverpool fans would be disappointed, and rightly so, if they weren't closer to the top 4 than they were last year.
Right, so we'll go on for game 2. You'll see a theme with my questions because I thought somebody else was going to be question master this week.
Is it French players?
No, it's name Spanish players at Everton and Liverpool. So Richard, you can go first this time.
Actually, I thought you were joking.
So since the Premier League started, name players who have played Spanish players who played for it.
Aspas.
Aspas, yeah. There's a lot more on this list than there was on the one. So.
Am I allowed to go for Arteta again?
Yep. Okay.
Reina,
yep.
Good show.
Only thought of him because he mouthed off today.
Did he?
Yeah, because Rodgers had gone. He was saying that how much he still loved Liverpool.
Is he out on loan or has he actually moved?
Oh, is he some like Galatasaray or something now?
I'm not sure. It's not me. I don't know.
I I'm trying to go for Everton players.
I know he went to Napoli last year. I don't remember where he was.
I'll go for. I'll get the pronunciation wrong here. Delafeu.
Sorry? Delafeu, yeah.
One of the greatest midfielders to grace the Premier League, Alonso.
Yep.
It's often forgotten about, isn't he, Alonso? But how great was he for Liverpool and just in general?
Phenomenal. Him and Mascherano. Incredible.
Yeah.
Don't get enough credit for. I think Alonso gets a fair bit of credit amongst Liverpool, but maybe not outside of Liverpool fans. As a Premier League, he doesn't get a lot of credit, does he?
That sort of Liverpool team then, everybody sort of goes on about that Gerrard carried the team. And you forget that, Alonso and Mascherano, they're two players that were the mainstay of the Barca and Real teams for several years as well.
An update on Pepe Reina. He went to Bayern Munich for a season. Now he's back at Napoli. Okay.
I'm saying I'm going to struggle to think of anyone else for Everton. I'll go.
If given you some breathing space then.
I was trying to use it to think of some. I still can't think of any. It's going to come down to Everton players, I think. So we'll keep it nice and simple with Liverpool and go for Fernando Torres.
Yep. Enrique, yeah.
Another Fernando
Morientes, yeah.
He did fail to deliver, didn't he, when he was there?
Yeah. Didn't cost too much, though, did it? I suppose.
No.
It's one of them. I did a Liverpool's most disappointing 11s, and he got in there. But then he go back to Spain, and he was amazing. Moreno, yep. Okay, full house for Richard.
We're getting stuck, aren't we? Liverpool. You said Reina, didn't you? Reina?
Yeah.
Have we had champions? What's his name? I was going to say the Arsenal one then. I nearly said the Arsenal one.
It's loads of Liverpool ones.
Yes, there's lots of Liverpool.
I can literally only think of one, and I can't get his name onto the front of my head. Alexander Ferreira. Something Garcia.
I'll give you Luis Garcia, yeah. Luis Garcia.
It's because Benitez was there for so long.
Yeah, so you could have had Arbeloa, Daniel Ayala, Luis Alberto, Suso, and the only Everton one you missed was Joel, who's the goalkeeper at the moment.
I've never heard of that one.
Joel, never done.
I have heard of him. I didn't think he was Spanish though. I thought someone had just forgotten to give him a full name.
It's the long list of the Ballon d'Or was released today. I'll do a couple of. I'm not going to read the whole list out because it's like 60 names. So the highlights: the English players are Kane and Rooney. The clubs with the clubs with the most players: Barcelona, who have Mascherano, Messi, Neymar, Suarez, Bravo. Missing one. That's not it. And Real Madrid also has 7. So Bale, Benzema, Ramos, Ronaldo, Modric, Rodriguez, and Cruz. Bayern Munich have 5. With Neuer, Müller, Lewandowski, Robin, and Alvaro. Is that how it's pronounced? Alvaro? Other Premier League, Man City have 5. They have Boney, Yaya Toure. Boney, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Have they watched him this year?
Sergio Aguero. What's that new defender called? Otamendi. Kevin De Bruyne. Yeah, notably absentee is David Silva, who was overlooked for Boney.
So Boney ahead of Silva.
Chelsea have 4. They have Costa, Willian, Hazard, and Courtois.
United have any?
We did.
De Gea?
De Gea.
Oh, and Rooney, obviously.
Rooney. And one more, I can't think of the top of my head.
Mata? Memphis?
Memphis Depay, yeah. He's got it. So, can we say anybody outside Messi and Ronaldo actually winning it?
No. If it was based on the past 2 weeks, then Lewandowski, but...
Just give it to Wilfred Bonny. Why not?
Some of the ones on the list, though, are an absolute joke.
I think QPR have 2 players on the list. So I've got it. I've got the list up here, so I should.
I think the funniest thing is that the list that is this year, with some of the ridiculous names on it, and you look back and you think that Paul Scholes was never nominated.
Was he not?
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
In his entire career, Paul Scholes never got into the top 50 section. And
For me, though, like, what would you rather have? Would you rather have a nomination or even a top 5 finish in the Ballon d'Or, or would you rather have the accreditation from Zinedine Zidane, quoting, you were one of the best midfielders he's ever played?
You kind of like top both, though, wouldn't you? You look back at Paul Scholes' career, and individually, he got very few awards. It's the one
for me,
that Gerrard really sort of excels over him on.
I think back then, maybe, because I think the awards meant more. But nowadays, I mean, especially the Ballon d'Or now is just, it's ridiculous now. It holds no real credit at all for me. It might go to the right person, i.e. Ronaldo or Messi, most years. But in terms of the shortlist, it's just made up of just some ridiculous names have made it in the last 5-6 years.
I think they have tried to spread
It's
out
almost
along
like
across the
we
whole
know
world.
who's going to win, so we may as well just give some other people credit for the sake of it.
Yeah, Depay was the only other United player who's made it. So. Coutinho's the only Liverpool.
Scholes in his career, he won Player of the Month 4 times. He was on the Team of the Year twice. He got a 10 Seasons award. I presume that's just for being in the Premier League 10 seasons. And he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, English Football Hall of Fame 2008. And that is basically it.
I didn't realise we had an English Football Hall of Fame.
No, I didn't.
that can't be that busy, that one. That's got to be a slow-moving Hall of Fame.
As I say, when we were talking about last year, with those couple of names we had, we were talking about Neuer probably winning it, Muller, possibly.
Yeah, after the World Cup, wasn't
After the World Cup, but this year it's just like...
Yeah, you look at Gerrard's individual awards. He got the Ballon d'Or Bronze, UEFA Club Footballer of the Year, FWA Footballer of the Year, FUA Tribute Award, PFA's Player of the Year, Young Player of the Year, Fans Player of the Year twice, PFA Merit Award, PFA Team of the Year 8 times, England Player of the Year twice, UEFA Euro Team of the Tournament, UEFA Team of the Year 3 times, FIFA Pro World 11 3 times. It's like, what? Who did Scholes shit in?
I don't know, it's maybe one of them things we look back on Scholes.
If you put that sheet of paper with all the awards on next to Frank Lampard's and Wayne Rooney's and John Terry and Rio Ferdinand's, and you showed them someone that they all played in the same international team, you'd immediately think, World Cup winners, and you'd go, nah, they didn't win anything. They won
Could it be with Gerrard that he was a big fish? He was like the head and shoulders the best player at his club, whereas Scholes played with Ronaldo and Giggs.
Yeah, Ronaldo, Giggs. Nah.
Cantona.
But you look at Scholes as a player, and as you said, like Zidane has gone on and said what an amazing player, like Xavi has as well, as an inspiration to him as a player. For him to be so overlooked is bizarre.
It's because he's so quiet as well. He doesn't want to be in the limelight. Yeah,
he's very much like that, isn't he? Personally, I think it's to do with FIFA being fishy again. We need to look into FIFA against gingers to see how many gingers.
Gingers against FIFA against asthmatics. He's famously an asthmatic as well. Right. So we're basically going for either Messi or Ronaldo. So if you had to put your house on it,
I'd go for Messi. Ronaldo, I saw some brilliant stats on Ronaldo the other day regards his free kicks and his and the amount of goals scored inside the box. Just random stats like that over the last 12 months to show his decline.
His decline.
Even though he's scoring all the goals, like.
Yeah.
The amount of penalties, third of his goals in the last 3 years have been penalties.
Yeah, I mean, 80 of his 500 goals have been penalties.
That's some number in it. Free kicks, he had out of the top free kick takers in terms of the people who took the most free kicks, he had the second worst shots on goal average and goals to free kicks taken. He only scored 4 goals from direct free kicks in 90-something attempts. That's outstanding. If I was a Real Madrid player and I saw the stat and I saw him standing over the ball, like Bale for instance, he can take a free kick. I can't understand why no one goes, right, come on, out of the way you. I saw you take a free kick.
Because they know they won't be playing for Real Madrid again.
I can still dream. I'm only 28, there's still time.
I wouldn't have Bale doing them. I'd have Rodriguez taking them.
Yeah.
Who's absolute class on free kicks.
I was going to say he's absolute class on FIFA.
I'd have Benitez come on and take him. That'd throw people, wouldn't it?
Alright, shall we go on for game 3? So at the moment, Owen's winning by 1. Right. So Owen, you go first. So name Spanish
footballers.
Name Spanish players who play in the Premier League for either Man United or Man City.
I knew you were going to pick that.
Surely we can mix it up to a different nationality.
I've been asking for 3 days. Who wants to be Question Master? Who wants to be Question Master? Who wants to be Question Master? So it got to 4 o'clock and nobody said I want to be Question Master, so I got to.
Oh dear me. Well, how are we going to do this one? Because this one will go on for ages, surely.
Well, no, because it only goes on to 10.
Well, no, but then this one's too easy. I want this.
It is
regardless.
pretty easy, this one.
There's probably not as many as you think.
Well, I'll kickstart it then with. I'll go for Juan Mata.
Mata?
That was my first choice. I love Mata. That assist he got last week was just absolute quality. I think there's only David Silva that I prefer in the Premier League.
Yeah.
De Gea for me, by the way.
Okay.
PK,
yeah.
Herrera,
yeah.
Victor Valdez.
Valdez, yeah.
Well, I've just mentioned him already, but David Silva.
Yep.
David De Gea.
Had him.
Already had him.
Oh, did you already have him?
Yeah.
Didn't hear you had him. Man City Spanish. Oh, after saying this was easy.
They're all easy. The first 6. So,
yeah, that's.
I think you've got one more United. I think. The rest of Man City.
Negredo.
Yeah.
Was that goalie for United? That was only there for the season. And he was Ricardo.
Yeah.
So, Navas.
So you're winning one. Just for pride, this one, though, Rich.
Yeah. Was it the one that Owen mentioned, actually? Before for Liverpool, he also played for City.
Riera, yeah. You could have had Gardado or Prozo.
I don't know how I missed it.
Right, so congratulations, Owen.
It was a rather hollow victory, that one.
Don't you write a script thinking there'll be more people on? And one of them's Shane, who talks a lot. So is there anything else you want to talk about?
United's capitulation to Arsenal.
Oof. Do we have to?
No.
That's another prediction I got right the other week, isn't it? I said United looked like they could just turn up and get overturned any weekend.
I think the problem with that was who he picked as the central midfielders.
Oh, that was diabolical.
If a game was crying out for what's it called?
Herrera.
Schneiderlin,
Herrera, yeah.
That game was.
For when you're going up against what is probably the fastest attack in the Premier League, either them or Palace, are sort of the ones you think can come at you with some pace. You don't pick two 30-year-olds who are both notorious for being about as fast as tortoises.
The biggest problem for me is they didn't look. Regardless of how slow they were, United literally didn't look as if they knew what. The amount of time Schweinsteiger was actually questioning people. He looked like he was asking people, "What am I supposed to do?" throughout the game. That is worrying for me. If I was a United fan, I'd be going, "Do they not know what Van Gaal wants out of them?" Because they did look clueless at times, absolutely clueless.
Was it the problem if you go in exactly the same formation as you do against when you're home to Sunderland to go away to Arsenal? Trying to play exactly the same.
I just don't think you can play Carrick and Schweinsteiger in the same team.
Yeah, you need some young legs around them.
Works at all. I think you have to have one of them, and then either Schneiderlin or Herrera with them.
Yeah.
You can't play them both.
For United, I think United have looked best this season playing 4-3-3 for me, and that means, but the willing is that comes down to, for all of his talk of him being a genius, at what point does Van Gaal stop, look at a team and say, right, there's nowhere for Rooney to play in this team? Because that's the biggest problem for me, is they try to accommodate Rooney, and if you accommodate him, then you've got to pack the midfield, and then you don't play Marshall up front, you play Rooney up front. Yeah. But then obviously you've got to play the youngster. He's playing well. You play Matt White, then you lose maybe Mata or you lose Depay. I think you've got to drop Rooney from that United squad. Well, not squad, but United team.
Is there a more depressing sight in football when you look over and it's Valencia and Fellaini warming up to come on? You're like, oh God.
Yeah. Fellaini's world-class forward. We all know that.
Do we believe, if we can move away slightly from United, do we believe that Jose Mourinho has been given a vote of confidence, or is this just paper talk?
Well, if he has, he needs to start looking for a new job, because that's worse than the commentator's curse, that is.
We said last week that there is something seriously wrong in that club at the moment. And I think it is Mourinho.
Do you think he prepared that 7-minute speech beforehand?
Oh yeah. I can't.
it's weird for me because I see real parallels between what's going on now and what happened. I'm trying to think who was in charge at the time. Might have been Avram Grant. But when there was a player power struggle with Terry and Lampard, and I wonder whether Terry's had another big influence in being dropped, and whether that's had a big influence on team morale, certain players, certain cliques within the club, and not just at player level, but at coaching level, boardroom level. The man, John Terry, every time he gets dropped or something comes out, he seems to be the only person who's not affected by it.
Well, Ivanovic was at it away with Eva, so I imagine he's not been particularly happy about what's gone on, and I think it's clearly shown with his form on the pitch. But yeah, I think there's a definite revolt occurring amongst the players.
You'd be Liverpool now if Mourinho gets sacked this weekend. We pulled the trigger on that one too early.
No, I'd say as Liverpool that of a choice of Klopp or Mourinho, I would certainly go for Klopp. If I was Liverpool, I wouldn't touch Mourinho with a barge pole.
That was one of the Twitter things, wasn't it? They were thinking of getting rid of Mourinho, so Liverpool got in there first to get Klopp.
Yeah, I think that's one of the other reasons is that they were worried that Klopp would end up at somewhere like Chelsea if Chelsea got rid of Mourinho, and they had to act.
Oh yeah. I think it was. But I suppose that's what didn't sit well with me with the sacking is that they've done it purely because basically you've got a trigger happy finger in it, and they've gone, well, get him sack Rodgers now and get Klopp, or we miss out on Klopp entirely. And I'm not sure that's the right way about hiring someone. I think if they're going to do that, they should have done it in the summer.
Well, I'm surprised he did stay after that defeat to Stoke.
Yeah.
So about the Sunderland, who do you think's going to take over there?
An idiot.
It's a strange one, Sunderland, isn't it? It reminds me so much now of Newcastle in the sense of anyone from. I mean, I'm a Middlesbrough fan. Now, obviously, being a Middlesbrough fan, not having that huge stadium, and as coming from as big a city, you don't have the kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe unreal optimism in your club as Sunderland and Newcastle fans seem to. I think they harbour ambitions above their station, but if you look at a setup that both clubs have got in terms of stadiums, facilities, everything's there for it to be a big club. They're very much like Villa as well, Aston Villa. Everything's there for it to be a big club. But both teams suffer from instability in the boardroom, really. I mean, over the last 10 years, both clubs have had their problems at boardroom level. And I think it does have an effect on the club. I think it has an effect on the ability to set foundations at the club, and it's all very. I think if you're Liverpool, Man United, Man City, you can maybe take that short-term approach to hiring and firing. I think if you're clubs like Aston Villa, Tottenham, teams like that, I think you have to allow a manager to come in, set foundations, and be willing, give him the backing to do so.
So who do you think is it going to? What do you think? Allardyce.
The one thing that whoever comes in has got for them is that it can't really get worse.
No.
You know, they can go down. People expect them to go down. But if you do anything better than go down, you're a hero there.
Yeah, so they've just got the odds up. Allardyce is favourite, and then Pearson's second, and then Sean Dyche.
I'm hoping Pearson gets it. I would love it.
I love Pearson.
If
we got Pearson and Klopp back in.
I don't like Pearson at all. I'd like Dyche.
I just give him the job because he's an ex-Middlesbrough captain. If he can take over Sunderland and take them down, well, we'll build a statue for him in Middlesbrough. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah,
but I think it's going to be one of those two, isn't it? You wouldn't look at anyone on the outside of that and think they fancy the Sunderland job.
Yeah, once you get out of there, like quite low odds, and there goes to Sean Dyche, Bob Brady, Derek McInnes, and Ronnie Dyler, and Neil Lennon. Robbie Stockdale. What? Isn't he a goalkeeper?
one need back again.
Roy Keane.
Roy Keane, that's what you need back. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, Brendan Rodgers, 33-1, I reckon. Right.
Isn't it true or something that has Rodgers got like a huge painting of himself in his house?
I don't know.
It's either a painting or a statue that he's got of himself in his own house.
It's not as bad as Ronaldo has a museum to himself.
But it's on a sort of like dodgeball level.
Just picturing that now. Oh, he's just got one in each room. Like he got home from being sacked, and he had Ian Ayre in the front room, Rodgers in front of him, and then a massive portrait of Rodgers behind him.
If anybody that listens to it can find out what it was that he's got, well, I'm sure he does have either a painting or a statue of himself in his own house.
Just a quick update, lads. I don't know if you know, but we've got Northern Ireland winning, beating Greece at the moment.
Ooh.
Germany being held by Republic of Ireland, and Scotland holding Poland.
Does Scotland need to beat Poland? They need to get 4 points. They don't need to have any chance.
Scotland were 1-0 down.
Alright, okay.
And the big shock at the moment is Faroe Islands are 1-0 up against Hungary.
Wow.
I've just found it. Yes, he does have a rather large painting of himself
Yeah.
with his arms crossed in his own house.
Is it just talk, or is there actual evidence of this?
No, I've got evidence. I've got the picture.
What, yeah. Hudson's just been to Brendan Rodgers. Breaking news. Hudson's broken into Rodgers' home.
Won't be the first time with a Liverpool house, will it?
Alright, there's nothing else. Shall we finish
No,
up?
that's it.
Alright, so follow us on Twitter at V2Football and like us on Facebook. Check out all the latest articles on v2journal.com and join the debate at 606v2.com. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please vote for us in the V2 Blog and Awards. Links are in the description below. So if you have more than one email address, good.
We're not taking donations for our evening.
Donation. We'll set up a Patreon for our night out.
Yes, what the V2 beer fund.
Yeah, it'd be much appreciated.
Yeah, we have a
As a
PayPal.
token
So if you
for all our hard work.
Anyway, good night.
Good night all.
Good night.